Hey everybody, welcome back to Mikasa and welcome back to a beautiful 45-degree super windy day in Iowa. So if we go back like 9 months ago, I'm sitting on a thistle, that was kind of sharp. But anyway, 9 months ago we got hit by 120-mile-an-hour winds and it blew out the windows in my attic. So we've had our carpenter neighbor Justin over and he's been working on his free time on the weekends rebuilding the walls upstairs so that way we could put our windows in. Another thing about these windows is when they're all together, they're really big and you have to put them in from the outside. So that's where the telehandler's coming in. We're gonna set the windows on the basket. Justin's gonna get outside of the house. He's gonna install them from the outside and then we'll be able to lower them down on the lift. Holy cow, I go in the front yard for 5 minutes, I come back, you already got two of them in. Man, the old birds aren't gonna know what to do. They're just gonna think it's a hole and boom. Ah. No need to measure for squareness in this house, Justin. Everything's perfect.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
I want to introduce you guys to my new cleaning lady. This is Justina. Oh yeah, Justina, that looks good. Hey, where'd you get that? You know what would make it look better? Siding on the house, and a wraparound porch, and the softening on.
Yeah.
It'll get there, it'll get there. So they're talking rain here in a little bit, so we're gonna put stuff away. Justin's got some inside work that he can continue to do for the rest of the afternoon. I guess in the meantime, I'm gonna go power wash Mom and Dad's house. Slight change of plans. I went to power wash Mama Cornstar's house, and then I get down there, get the power washer set up, starts to rain. So ended up quitting for the night. Then yesterday was Mother's Day and we definitely did not have the best diet. So before we do anything, we're gonna get our workout in. And if anyone wants to follow along, I'm doing Jonnie Candito's linear program. I'll include the link to that in the description. Woo, doggy. Boy, good workout everybody. So now we're down at the main heated shop and lately I've been having a lot of people ask me, where can they get a hold of these sunglasses? Well, we have a link through the description where you can get 15% off, so go check it out. Oh yeah, and I've also had a lot of people ask me, what's going on with the 24 row? What's going on with the 16 row? And how did you like all these goodies you put on your planters and tractors this year? So that's what we're gonna talk about. All right, Dad, you wanna start?
On what?
Oh, holy cow, you haven't shaved for a little while.
Well, I shaved yesterday morning, but I didn't shave last night before I went to bed, so.
You growing a beard?
No, and I'm not growing a mullet. I'm not growing long hair.
So this is Dad's 1981 John Deere 4840.
And it is set up with AgLeader steady steer with a 1200 command GPS system here.
So steady steer, what'd you like about it? What'd you not like about it?
Can't really say anything I didn't like about it. I can sit there and look around. I don't have to try to watch where my black mark is from my markers.
So when Dad's talking about a marker, he's talking about this thing. What these are is this is the very end of the planter, so when it's unfolded, this actually unfolds, and then this little disc blade here drags in the ground, and it just makes a little dark strip of dirt, and then so you line the center of the tractor up with that little dark strip of dirt on your next pass, and that's how you used to know where you were planting or if you were planting straight. And if the dirt was really wet or it was dark, it was hard to see the line.
It was very, very smooth. When I was in fields running the auto steer, the steady steer, it was so quiet, you hardly even heard it moving, and I really liked that.
Neva, what are you doing? I'm warming up. Now I need to clarify here, I never drove this with the steady steer on it this spring. Dad was the only one who operated this tractor, but something I really liked about this, when we're gonna need the steady steer and something else, it is literally this easy to move to something else. And then you get in said other item, and then you just click it on, and it's good to go. And remember guys, anything with the steering wheel, this little steady steer here can go on. Then over here we have our AgLeader in command 1200 monitor. So this is what does all the mapping, all the GPS and stuff runs through this. So we press the button on here. Tractor locks onto our guidance line. We also had our planter population monitor on here. So instead of using this old dinosaur monitor right here, we were able to plug in one thing on the planter. And then we could run all our population control and stuff through this. Dad, how'd you like that?
Going through that other monitor, that was so nice because I could see the population count really well and what the average was. I could push on each row on the 1200 command and it would tell me what the population was shooting out or if there was an issue. I fell in love with that new system in probably 15 minutes.
15, you fell in love with it as soon as you looked at it. And that's all through the AgLeader and Command 1200. And speaking of globes on top of the cab, we run TerraStar X through ours, which is AgLeader's RTK prescription. Prescription. We do pay for that, but you can get a WASP prescription with this, and that's free. And what's really cool about TerraStar X is it's RTK from the sky, so there's no base station, no cell phone tower, no antenna, no anything. You don't even need an internet connection in order for it to work. Did I mention it's sub 1 inch accuracy? So John Deere and 340, they both run TerraStar X RTK from the sky. The only difference is that has the steady steer on it, and this one, the steering valve is hydraulically built in. So below these cookies and chips here, we have a little thing we put in. So in this tractor, the steering wheel doesn't move, but it's the same GPS system. And like I said, I didn't do any planting in this tractor, but another nice thing about the Command 1200 is it's able to sync up to the cloud. So I could get on my phone or the iPad and I could see Dad's real-time issues of kind of what was going on if he's having a problem.
With the Command 1200, another thing we can do with it is actually run it through a row shutoffs on this planter. To me, that's a really neat feature.
This planter is 1993 too, or 1991, so it's not a no spring chicken anymore, as you would like to say.
That's why I run this planter, because I know the boys don't know how to treat it right.
1981 tractor, 1993 planter, fully teched out with goodies, so you can literally put this stuff on about anything. You're from the old school, so give the old school guys some advice here.
When I started running the auto steer, what was that, 3 years ago? I felt so much better at night. I could run longer hours. My eyes weren't all bugged out. My eyes are kind of a little sensitive, so if I'm really straining, they get pretty sore.
And he gets grumpy.
I get grumpy, so it's nice. I actually admit it's probably one of the best investments we bought on the farm.
So how much is AgLeader paying us to say this stuff for?
I haven't got my check yet.
Hey, you haven't? No, guys, this sounds super commercially, but we're legitimately teaching you guys about this stuff because we really believe in it and we think it can help literally every single one of you. So that's why we're talking so much about it. So another upgrade we did on the 16-row planter is we put Yetter twister closing wheels on. These are the poly ones, and on the 24-row we have the cast ones. What'd you think of them?
I like them. I think the cast ones are a little more heavy, so in the no-till they might push a little bit more, but the plastic ones, they did a fantastic job too.
Okay, on the 340, we stuck LSW 1400s on the back, and we have 1100s on the front. Now, before we had the LSWs on, we had duals on this tractor, and coming off a two-wheel drive tractor, I'll be completely honest, I did not notice any ride quality difference going down the road. They were both extremely smooth in my opinion. Front suspension on the tractor and cab suspension with an air seat, pretty cushy ride either way. But there were 3 areas I noticed a major difference on the improvement of the LSW over the dual. First one is these tires here are just so stinking wide. If I hit any sort of wet spot whatsoever, you literally did not even leave a print. Like, you were like that deep in the ground. It was impressive to say the least. The other thing that was really nice is there's actually a little bit more clearance between the frame of the tractor and the tire here, so we were able to turn our steering stops a notch in. So that means we could actually turn a little bit sharper than when we had the duals on. So that's kind of nice. If you're in a tight area, you need to maneuver the planter a little bit better, you could turn a little sharper. And like I said, down the road, ride quality, I honestly didn't notice a difference, but where I did notice a difference was out in the field. If we crossed any kind of little dip, washout, anything like that, the LSWs being so wide, it would just bridge the gap across way smoother through any kind of washout or anything. But really, the area where it shined the most was if you planted the end rows of your field and then you were coming into those and turning around. Normally when you got into those, you felt some bumps. These being so wide, literally just as smooth as if you're going across the field. Like, I couldn't even tell I was in an end row, and that's where I liked it the most.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is actually a straight downhill, pretty steep. But my feet are kind of like mountain goats or whatever. I'm able to cling to the wall, don't fall down. I better get down here before I trip and fall. You can see the corn finally starting to come out of the ground, but there's still some spots. We need some heat in the next few days, and there's gonna be a lot of corn popping out.
Now let's try to even look for where the tire tracks were.
Oh, you just can't see where the 340 tractor tires.
I think we're right here. You can just barely see it right here in the softer dirt. I mean, that's about as much of a rut. That tire is 55 inches wide, and I can only see a spot this big.
Yeah, I was real impressed with not leaving a track.
And then on the 340, we also put Tiger LED lights around the whole thing. I planned it all night long with this thing, and there was never a single circumstance where I was like, man, I wish I had more lights on this thing. They were awesome, super bright. And then last but not least, we can't forget about the pre-cleaner that we put on the 340. This is from Hilco. It's got a little spinner thing up here. It's supposed to help keep the fines out. Because before, we were having to clean the air filter on this thing like every 50 hours. That's like $300. So we put that on there. We went all planting season without any issues whatsoever. And we were in a really super dry planting season, a lot of dust. She worked.
Where do they order that from then, Cole? Can they order that from your link?
Yeah, I'll include the links to everything that we've been talking about in the description, so you guys can just check it out there. Now, we would talk about everything we did to the 24-row planter in front of the 24-row planter, but that's in the back of a dark shed right now, and it's scary back there, and I'm scared of the dark, so we're not going to go there. But we also have the Yetter Air Adjust row cleaners on our 24-row planter. Last year, not going to lie, we had a lot of little issues just because I don't know if we didn't set them up right or what. They were all running differently. This year we got all that ironed out. We were really happy with them. They just moved the trash out of the way. They weren't plowing through the field. We had some people who were concerned of what it would be like planting into the wheel track of the LSW 1400s. We have AgLeader hydraulic downforce installed on our 24-row planter, so that means there's no springs on there. And what that does is it takes 600 readings per second and just 5 times per second to keep our row at exactly 2 inches deep. So we didn't have any issues running in the LSW track. We're actually running a test of hydraulic downforce versus springs side by side in the wheel track of the LSWs, so stay tuned on that. Dad, I remember what we didn't like. 24-row planter and the 16-row planter, the frogs that we put on, and the disc openers.
That still got me puzzled, but one thing that did make me think the other day, I was talking to Ron, our bulldozer man, and he was talking like the last 2 years, the ground was really dry during planting. And that's almost like sandpaper. So like our frogs, when dry dirt's hitting them, it's just like sandpaper wearing on them. And you know, if it's a little bit of moist, it just makes things slide a little easier, as long as it's not too damp.
There's a little update on kind of everything that was going on, all the new tech. Let us know what you guys think. Remember, guys, we have Cornstar Farms merch available through the link in the description. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.